Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Alexsandra Litowsky of RosenInjury.com. Alex, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Seth. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. Special thank you to financial advisor Robert Lehman, who introduced us. Alex, how did you get started? What inspired you to go to law school in the first place?
So I worked in the medical industry. I was a marketer, case manager, Jill of all trades for a medical facility down here in South Florida. And one of my primary roles was to go around to all of the personal injury lawyers and see, you have clients who are hurt. I have doctors who can help. Let's see if we can get something going. And I met a lot of lawyers and they all loved what they did. It was amazing to me. And I said to myself, well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. I got into other things. Paths took me elsewhere. And that was on a Friday. I sat there and by Monday, I had already registered to take the LSAT. And looked into law schools to apply to.
That is absolutely incredible. So what was it that inspired you? I mean, you saw that they loved their jobs. What did you think being a lawyer meant? What was your vision when you said, I want to go to law school?
It was, as cliche as this sounds, Seth, to help people. I saw a lot of people who didn't understand car insurance. They didn't understand what to do after they had been in a crash. They didn't know what doctors to go to. And you get a lot of varying opinions. And a lot of the times you don't get a lawyer on the phone. I wanted to be that lawyer, the lawyer that picks up the phone, that talks to their clients, that really advocates for them and helps them through this process, whether that's inside the courtroom or just in an informal meeting between myself and my client.
So that's terrific. So you knew from day one that you wanted to be in the personal injury space. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I never wavered from that. It was always something that I wanted to do. That was what track I took. And it was later that I found the passion for litigation in addition to that, but the branch of law itself never changed.
Okay. So that eliminates my next question of how'd you arrive at the area of specialization? You just explained that. So let's go further a little bit. What does, you do use the word litigation? What does that mean and how is that different from, let's say, any other injury attorney in your field?
So there are 3 specialties, right? So you have pre-suit, and that is just the initial, right? We take in the intake, we send a demand letter eventually with the medical records, and some attorneys stop there. If it doesn't get settled on demand, they either farm it out to a facility or an organization that does exactly what mine does, or they say to the client, listen, this is what they're offering and we can't get you any more, and that's all there is to it. Then you move into the litigation phase. You file a lawsuit, you do all the discovery, you come up with your theory of the case, you collect all the paperwork, all the medical records, get the experts, and then you have trial lawyers, which we also do. That's the actual trial itself, going into the courtroom in front of a jury.
Why do you think because from our research, it shows the majority, a lot of personal injury attorneys don't do the actual litigation. Why do you have such a passion for it?
Well, I love being in a courtroom, right? That's the adrenaline rush for me. Is you stand in front of either a judge in litigation when you're asking for something from a judge, or in front of a jury telling them why your client was hurt, what happened to your client, why your client deserves money for what has happened to them as the result of a negligence of a third party. And that's where the fun is for me, A. B, it very much helps your ability to settle cases prior to even having to file a lawsuit. When you know what that process is, what comes of it, what you're gonna find, what you're gonna do with that information, it gives you the upper hand in the pre-suit stages of any lawsuit.
And then how did you've got quite an expertise in this department. How did you develop that?
So throughout the course of law school, I was on trial teams. I did several mock trial competitions, which really very much mirrors a real life trial. It's obviously not as in-depth or extravagant. You try a case in 90 minutes rather than in 2 weeks or a week or however long a case is going to take inside of a courtroom. But more than that is my clerkship really gave me the opportunity to sit in on those trials, to go to those hearings, to be in on those depositions. That's where I honed in on my skills. And then I am lucky enough to work hand in hand with a lawyer who has taken on huge corporations. Big Tobacco is, that's the creme de la creme of corporations. You want to take on somebody big, that's where you go. And I get to learn from him and watch his every move. So that is why I am with Eric Rosen, because of his skill inside of a courtroom.
That is absolutely incredible. What are some of the biggest mistakes you find consumers making when it comes to they've been in some type of accident? What are they doing wrong, or what don't they know about this process?
The civilian is they talk to the insurance companies way too soon. The insurance companies settle them out for pennies on the dollar. And when you don't know this process, you don't know what you can access if you do it the right way. A small settlement sounds like a lot of money. It's more money than most people have seen in their lifetimes up till that point, and they settle quick. If you can be patient and you can wait on it, you can build a case, you end up getting a lot more in the long run. So I tell people, don't talk to the insurance companies right away. You should consult with a lawyer almost immediately. And if you have a case, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. You've protected yourself. And that's what a lot of people don't know. They think that their insurance company is there to represent them, but their insurance company is a business just like any other business. And their job is to settle for as little as possible.
It's unfortunate, but true. So what do you find is the best way for you to get the word out about what you're doing at Rosen Injury? How are folks finding you?
So I just talked to a whole bunch of people, right? Everybody I know knows I'm a lawyer. They know where I work, what I do. I educate people when I'm standing in line at the grocery store, when I'm out to dinner at a restaurant. I just tell everybody, and I've gotten so many calls just from that basic grassroots. Then there's things like Google and making sure that you're optimized on, the backside of a website, all of those things. But most of our marketing at Rosen Injury is really that grassroots. People know we're good lawyers. They know that we're good people. They know that we're patient and that we're here and we're client-centered and client-focused. And that word gets out a lot quicker than you think it would. I can't tell you how many referrals I get that way.
Well, that's incredible. How do you differentiate yourself when you've got so many attorneys screaming from the billboards and the televisions and inundating the airwaves with their $1 million marketing budgets? How do you stand out from that crowd?
So you don't, right? That's the short answer is you don't. I don't compete. I don't go toe to toe with Morgan & Morgan. It's a totally different model. My model isn't the same model as Morgan & Morgan. I am okay with a little bit of great business rather than a lot of some great, some not so great business. And there is plenty to go around. I mean, there's no shortage of car wrecks nowadays, unfortunately speaking, but there's no shortage and there's plenty to go around. And all I need to do is find my little niche space. And in my opinion, our niche space is that very client-focused representation. I speak to each one of my clients on a biweekly basis, every single one of them. And they get as much time as they need from me in that phone call. Same goes for Eric. We give our cell phone numbers to our clients. Any time of day you need us, you text us, you call us, and we are there. And I think that that is a very big differential from these big box firms. Not that they don't offer great representation, it's just a totally different model.
Absolutely. You are certainly not a cookie cutter factory. You are not churning the numbers. You are giving them the personal attention that they can't get at some of those other firms. With all the success you have had, what's your biggest challenge now?
As far as being a lawyer or as far as being a business runner? Because those
Let's
are
do
two
both.
totally different things. All right. So as a lawyer, these insurance companies have really pulled back. 10 years ago, what an average settlement for certain injuries has gone down exponentially. I'd say somewhere between 30 and 40% on that initial offer. What you need to do now as a client, the medical treatment that you need to get and the injuries you need to have become more severe. What you need to have as an injury is more severe depending upon the recovery you want. As far as a business runner, you've brought it up, right? This is a very inundated space. It is a saturated space. And when you have that saturation, you are competing with these people, even if you're not trying to, because at the end of the day, when I get into a car accident, the first thing that I think of, right, even as a lawyer, are these other places. I'm not going to plug them because I don't want to give them the attention, but we all know who they are in South Florida. And that's what people generally think of first. What I try to do is fine, you think of them first, but after you've had a moment to think about them, you then think about me and think about the attention that you're going to get with me versus with these bigger models.
Absolutely. I know that you also have a significant relationship with your litigating French Bulldog. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Leia, since before I can remember, I always wanted a French Bulldog. And then when I went to law school, I was like, you know what, I'm going to name him Larry. It was going to be a boy, Larry, the litigating French Bulldog. And he was just going to come with me everywhere. And she does, for the most part. She is at daycare today, which she gets to take a break from work every once in a while. And she's my sidekick. I adore her. She's adorable. She snorts, and she convinces judges all over the state of Florida to rule in our favor. That is a joke. I'm not saying that a French Bulldog actually influences a judge's decision.
Of course not. And we will insert the standard legal disclaimers here. Also, Alex is in, as she mentioned, South Florida. If you are in a different state, please seek counsel where you are. We are not making any legal claims in any shape or form on this podcast. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I like, first of all, that I get to go toe to toe with these insurance companies, because I think that a lot of what they do is disgusting. In my personal opinion, I understand it's business. You're dealing with people who are very injured and are in a terrible position, and they do try to take advantage. And I get the business side of it, but from an empathy side of it, from a moral side of it, I don't agree with it. And I like going toe to toe with that. I also like helping people because, again, people who are uneducated, not that they're ignorant or they're not smart people, they're just uneducated in this space. So being able to educate them and show them why it's best to hire a lawyer, why it's best to take certain steps, why you have to go to the doctor when you've been injured, all of these things. And I give them that emotional support that a lot of them don't have in this time that is very stressful to them.
Amen to that. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable for our folks who are listening or watching, who might be in your area, who might want to learn more about what you're doing. Where is the best place for them to go?
You can go to our website, roseninjury.com. You can make any anonymous request for information on that website. You can also call us at our office, 954-787-1500. We're located on Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but we do serve the entire state of Florida. So at any point in time, anybody wants to get in touch with us, you can also email me, alex@roseninjury.com. Any legal matter whatsoever. We deal in personal injury, but I do have a wonderful network of attorneys who practice in all different facets of law. So always feel free to give me a call.
Appreciate you being willing to be the hub of that referral network. This has been Seth Greene with Alex of roseninjury.com. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. Everybody have a great day.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. Thank you to Robert Lehman for the introduction, and we will talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.